I went to see this movie not knowing what to expect from the 2025 legacy sequel of The Naked Gun. With Liam Neeson, best known for Taken 1 and 2, and Pamela Anderson of Baywatch fame in the lead roles, I was curious how this would play out. I'd heard early buzz from Rotten Tomatoes calling it the funniest movie of the year. And honestly, that got my hopes up. The Naked Gun 2025 is a revival of the classic Slapstick franchise from the late 80s and early 90s, and this reboot brings a slick, modern polish to its old-school parody roots. Directed by Akiva Schaffer, Hot Rod, Chippendale Rescue Rangers, the film centers around Lieutenant Frank Drebin Jr., the equally clueless son of the legendary Lieutenant Frank Drebin Sr. The plot? Absurd in the best way possible. Lieutenant Frank Jr. is assigned to solve a murder case that, if left unsolved, could result in the entire police department being shut down and replaced by a Spirit Halloween store. Yes, you heard that right. That's the kind of off-the-wall humor this movie leans into. And honestly, it works. This was actually my first time watching a spoof comedy film. After all, I wasn't even born when the original Naked Gun came out. While I didn't find it hilariously funny like some people in the theater clearly did, I did catch myself smiling and chuckling at quite a few moments. The movie starts with an opening scene of Frank Jr. enters a crime scene disguised as a little girl. Then he pulls off his mask and stands up, still dressed in the girl's tiny outfit. He lifts his leg to expose his little cartoon underpants-clad crotch. He even batters men with a large lollipop and jams it into someone's mouth. Here's 10 funniest moments I thought were funny. There's a scene where Frank Jr. is talking to his father while gazing at his photograph at the police department memoir wall. As he asks his dad to send him a sign if he's proud of him, meanwhile, a host of other police officers pay homage to their fathers appearing to be crying in tears. A photograph display of O.J. Simpson from the Police Squad movie as Detective Fred Nordberg. His son Nordberg, played by Moses Jones, apparently just shakes his head as he was denying their relationship. The moment delivers a quiet punchline, mocking legacy denial, while giving a wink to fans familiar with both the original character and the actor's controversial real-life history. Lieutenant Frank Drebin Jr. brings in celebrity rapper Busta Rhymes as a suspect in the recent bank robbery. While reviewing Busta's criminal record, Frank misreads a charge for manslaughter as man's laughter, causing a hilariously awkward moment where he accuses Busta of laughing at a man. Busta corrects him, pointing out the obvious mispronunciation, and Frank tries to play it off, but not before adding a completely unnecessary jab about never trusting a man who rhymes. While trying to show footage of Busta Rhymes at the robbery, the footage shows Frank Drebin Jr. eating a chili dog while unknowingly live streaming. Back at headquarters, a full team of officers watch in horror as Frank experiences explosive digestive issues in real time from his body cam footage trying to use a public restroom. After finally finding the footage of Busta Rhymes seen at the robbery, he then confesses that he was one of the bank robbers and was told by the organizer, who later is revealed to be Sig Gustafson, that they could keep all the money from the robbery. Chief Davis, played by CCH Pounder, decides to kick Frank Jr. off the bank robbery case to be reassigned to investigate a crashed vehicle in which a man named Simon Davenport was killed, ruling it a suicide. However, the two cases are unknowingly connected at this point. Beth Davenport arrives at the police station to demand answers about her brother Simon's suspicious death. Though officially ruled a suicide, she suspects foul play, especially since Simon worked for shady tech billionaire Richard Kane at Eden Tech. Assigned to the case is the clueless but determined Lieutenant Frank Drebin Jr., who immediately botches protocol but agrees to investigate. Beth pushes him to reopen the case, convinced her brother uncovered something dangerous. The funny part is, as she leaves, she grabs the chair and she sprints dramatically down a cubicle-lined hallway, knocking over desks and fax machines as she leaves. Every police officer, including Frank Drebin Jr., has an inner monologue about her beauty, and they all overlap one another in a funny gag. Frank meets tech billionaire Richard Kane, played by Danny Houston, which is the villain, who gifts the police squad an electric car. The next day, Frank tries it out, repeatedly slamming the doors into Captain Ed Hockin Jr., played by Paul Walter Hauser. Things escalate when Frank drives off while still plugged in, ripping chargers from the ground and crashing through the police squad wall, accidentally freeing dozens of prisoners. As chaos erupts, Frank casually remarks how dangerous LA has become, completely unaware he caused it. Sig Gustafson, who works for the villain Richard Kane, is played by Kevin Durand, who steals the plot device made by Simon Davenport out of his safe deposit box. In the bank robbery, spies on Frank Jr. and Beth using infrared camera through pulled curtains. And it appears that they are engaged in various sexual acts, including intercourse with a dog. However, in reality, they are innocently preparing a turkey for dinner and feeding the dog using the turkey baster. In an odd twist, Frank and Beth escape to a winter cottage for the weekend, oddly ignoring the global threat posed by Kane. They conjure up a magical snowman during a bizarre montage. At first, the snowman is a welcome third wheel, even awkwardly joining their intimate moments. But things take a turn when it tries to kill them, chasing them through the house until Beth decapitates it with a sword. It's the weirdest scene in the movie, and one of the funniest. When Frank Drebin Jr. starts back investigating the case, Beth Davenport also made a surprising entrance in a private club where a jazz band is performing, and Beth Davenport jumps on the stage to sing the song Sassafras Chicken in D in her Pamela Anderson experienced scat soloist voice with the band to distract Richard Kane, whereas Frank Drebin secretly looks around. The climax breakdown. The villainous tech billionaire Richard Kane, founder of Eden Tech, activates his evil plan, Project Inferno, a scheme to unleash the primordial law of toughness, PLOT device, during the WWFC New Year's fight, causing mass chaos and rage to kick off his new billionaire-run world order. The device is hidden in the New Year's balls. As the countdown begins, Frank Drebin Jr. fails to stop the device. In classic Drebin fashion, his pants fall down in front of a massive audience, fully exposing both front and back, leaving absolutely nothing to the imagination. Chaos erupts. The PLOT device is activated. The crowd turns feral. Frank tries to warn them, but it's too late. Outside, Richard Kane and his crew escape on motorcycles toward the underground entertainment bunker. The chase is on. As people under the device's influence begin targeting Frank Jr., he fights off a mob of enraged fans until the effect wears off. He steals an SUV to chase Kane, but it won't start. That's when an owl, yes, a literal owl, swoops in, helps him, and flies him into action. Frank takes down Kane's henchman mid-flight and eventually catches up to the villain. Before flying off, the owl delivers a heartfelt farewell. "I'm proud of you, son." The final confrontation. Frank corners Richard Kane, who surrenders due to a suspiciously weak stomach. Beth Davenport arrives, dials down the PLOT device to calm, and restores peace. Frank destroys the device with a single shot. Justice or revenge? Beth nearly kills Kane for her brother's death, but Frank talks her down, for love and their possible future together. Kane is arrested, the chaos ends. But stay for the credits. Even the credits in these movies are funny. While The Naked Gun has a hilarious credit scene with Frank and Beth, the credit scroll itself has plenty of gag credits throughout. It's a riff on the original, which has plenty of joke credits, including crediting various actors by their single lines. Final thoughts. Liam Neeson's deadpan delivery works shockingly well. He plays every line with complete seriousness, which only makes the chaos around him even funnier. There's a constant push and pull between his tough guy persona and the absurdity of the situations. Think Taken meets Airplane. It's a bizarre blend, but it works. I'm definitely curious to see how the film performs at the box office on Monday, especially since this is its opening weekend. Also, if you spot a stuffed beaver on display near the concession stands, yes, it's a reference to The Naked Gun. In the original, there's that infamous moment where Frank Drebin, Leslie Nielsen, says, "Nice beaver," to Jane Priscilla Presley, and she replies, "Thanks, I just had it stuffed," before handing him a literal taxidermy beaver. Classic deadpan innuendo. In The Naked Gun, 2025, they sneak in a visual callback. Frank Jr. walks past a stuffed beaver while snooping around in a jazz club. It's easy to miss, but fans of the original will definitely catch the nod. The final verdict. The Naked Gun, 2025, is silly, self-aware, and proudly stupid in the best way possible. While not every joke lands, and it doesn't quite reach the comedic highs of the original classic, it knows exactly who it's for. Casting big names like Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson was a genius move, and the unexpected celebrity cameos add just the right touch of surprise and absurdity. With a certified fresh 90% critic rating and strong audience support, this reboot marks a solid return for the franchise, especially for those craving fast-paced spoof comedy that doesn't take itself seriously for a second. My final rating is 3.5 out of 5 stars. Watch this film if you're in the mood for mindless laughs, over-the-top gags, and a heavy dose of nostalgia. Hey, thanks for watching! If you enjoyed this review, stick around for more awesome movie breakdowns, hot takes, and behind-the-scenes deep dives. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash the notification bell so you never miss a new video. I'll catch you in the next one.